Hello, 8th grade, Mrs. Pancoke here. Today we're going to be working on lesson 72, which is all about Excel, workbook, and worksheet basics. We are in chapter 11 now, and this chapter begins in your book on page 352. In this lesson, we're going to learn about workbooks, worksheets, and worksheet parts. We're going to open and close Excel, open, save, and close a workbook, move around a worksheet, enter and align labels and values, and view and print grid lines and headings. Excel is a popular spreadsheet program. Let me go here. In Excel, a spreadsheet file is called a workbook. So all of our things that we open, when you hear workbook, that is our actual file that we're working in. Each workbook contains one or more worksheets. You can tell the worksheet name down here by the bottom tab. This one is sheet 1. I could have many worksheets. By clicking on this plus sign, it would add worksheets. And then you can always rename a worksheet. Usually, each workbook contains one or more worksheets, usually with related data. Worksheets can be added to a workbook. Worksheets can also be deleted from a workbook. A worksheet contains rows, columns, and cells. Columns run up and down a worksheet. Each column has a heading. They are the letters up here at the top of your workspace. And they run left to right across the worksheet, these column headings. Okay. Rows run across the worksheet as well. Okay. And each row has a heading over here on the side, which is the numbers that go up and down on the left side of your worksheet. A cell is formed where a row and a column cross. So right here is our active cell. It's crossing a row and a column. Cells are where information is keyed. A worksheet is shown in figure 11-1. It contains many parts that you use with other software. So you can see we have similar buttons up here, especially in the font group, that were similar to Word. Now we're going to go through the different parts of a worksheet as follows. So follow along with this. Your name box is right here. It tells you the active cell by the letter of the column and the number of the row it intersects. It also could identify the range of cells being selected. So here's the name box. The formula bar is right here. It displays the contents of the active cell and is used to create or edit text or values. It can be expanded or contracted by clicking this arrow at the right edge of the bar. Columns are identified by letters, and the columns run down your sheet. Okay. A row is identified by the numbers, okay, and they go across your sheet. Worksheet tabs down here identify the worksheet inside the workbook. And then we have scroll bars over here on the side. This scroll bar moves your workspace horizontally. This scroll bar moves your worksheet vertically. Next, it tells us to open Microsoft Word. And we're going to go ahead and find DF72 worksheet. Make sure you're in a keyboarding 8 data files. This is going to open up a Word document. In this document, okay, you are going to complete the activity as directed, referring to figure 11.1 as needed. So to find the answers for this, you're going to use page 352 to find which of these is related to the number up here in the picture. So what you're going to do is you're going to type the number over here on the side. So for example, the active cell, I want to find which of these circles is pointing to that part of the document. So we want to find active cell. I know that the active cell for this one is right here, so that must be number 1. Okay, then it wants me to find which of these numbers is pointing to the columns. So for this one, I know that this one is number 7, and so on. When you're finished with this document, you're going to go File, Save As, Browse to find your folder. We're going to go Keyboarding 8, saving this time in Chapter 11. I want to name this 72A Worksheet. Okay, I'm going to press Save, and it should be 72A Worksheet. And then it tells us to close Word once you're done. For 72B, we're going to now go ahead and open up Excel. It says Excel spreadsheet software is open and closed in the same way that we opened Word. Likewise, new and existing workbooks are open, saved, and closed the same as a Word processing document. So we're going to go ahead this time, start Excel. I type it down here in my search bar. We're going to click on blank workbook, and a new workbook opens with cell A1 being our active cell. Tells us to key our first name, so I'm going to type Leah because that's my first name. And we're going to go ahead, it says, and save our workbook. So we're going to save as, I'm going to browse, find my Keyboarding 8 folder, Chapter 11. I want to save this as 72B first. Okay, and I've already made one, but I'm going to go ahead and save it over it, 72B first. And then it tells us to close this file. So I'm going to go File, Close. And then I want to open a recent document. I'm going to go Browse. We're going to go to our Keyboarding 8 data files, and we're going to find 72B DF 72B last. Okay, it tells us to key our last name in cell A1. I'm going to type Pancoke. And then it tells us to save this document as in our Keyboarding 8 Chapter 11 folder as 72B last. We're going to type it in, 72B last, and then click Save. Okay, and then it tells us to close Excel. Okay, all right. Next, we're on to 72C. It says when you enter information in a worksheet, it is placed in the active cell. The active cell is the current location of the intersection point. Thus, the active cell changes when you move the insertion point from cell to cell. You can identify the active cell by looking at its border. The active cell is the cell within the thick border around it. Okay, you can see right here, thick border around this active cell. To activate a cell with the mouse, move the pointer to the desired cell and click the mouse. You also can use the arrow keys, okay, or the tab or the enter key to activate a different cell. To move from cell to cell, move to one cell to another quickly, you can use keyboarding shortcuts. For example, to move to the first cell in a row, and make it the active cell, you tap the home key. To move to cell A1, you're going to press Control Home. And to move to the active cell up one page, you're going to use Page Up or Page Down to move down to the active cell at the bottom. And in this activity, we're going to practice moving around a worksheet using the mouse and the keyboard. Alright, so next we're going to open up a new workbook. So we're going to go to Excel again. Oops. Alright. And I'm going to open up a new blank workbook. It's step 1 on page 353, step 72C. It tells us to open a new blank workbook, and we're going to click in cell C4 to make it active. Cell C4 is now the active cell. Note that the active cell address appears in our name box. Next, it tells us to use our mouse to make cell A12, so A12 active, and then use the mouse to make cell B24 active, so B24. You may need to use the scroll bars to display the area you want over here, the scroll bars. Step 3, use the arrow keys to make cell D11 active. So I'm going to go over to D and go up to 11 using my arrow keys on my keyboard. Use the arrow keys to make cell F30 active. Now use the arrow keys to make cell P30 active. Next, we're going to use the page down key. It's above the arrow keys. So I'm going to use page down. You might have to do that twice. And we're going to go to cell J100. So page down, I hit it twice, and then I use my arrow keys to find cell J100. Now we're going to use page up to find, I believe it's L40. Alrighty. Next it says tap the F5 key to open the Go To dialog box. F5 key is found in the set of function keys at the top of the keyboard. I'm going to type in H100 and click OK. Okay, H100 should be active. Next, I'm going to hold down the Control plus the Home key to make cell A1 active. And now I'm going to tap the Tab key to make cell B1 active. And I'm going to tap Enter to make cell A2 active. It says close the workbook without saving. Alright, next we're moving on to part 72D. Enter and align labels and values. So we're going to be entering data. Data keyed into a cell is automatically assigned a label or value status. When only numbers are entered or keyed into a cell, the value status is assigned and the data is right aligned. When letters and or symbols with or without numbers are keyed into a cell, the label status is assigned and the data is left aligned. So when you type in letters right here, like a name or like typing in gender, it's going to be left aligned. When you type in a number, the values are assigned a left alignment. To record the data entered, you press Tab or Enter. You also can click the Enter icon on the formula bar to record the data. So the Enter icon is this check mark. If you want to change the alignment that was automatically assigned to labels and values, use the desired alignment option in the Home tab. So the alignment data, you can align your cells by using these buttons over here. If you make a mistake when entering data, you can use the delete or the backspace key to remove the text or numbers. If you find an error after you have left a cell, select that cell that has an error and you can key the correct data and then tap Tab or Enter. The new data you keyed will replace the error. You might begin keying data and then want to stop, perhaps because you realize you're in the wrong cell. You can press the Cancel button right here, the X, or as you can see right here, Cancel icon. And tap, or you could tap the escape key before tapping tab or enter. You can also hit the cancel icon on the formula bar to cancel in the data. All right, so now it says we're going to open a new workbook. So I'm going to come down here and open up Excel. And we're going to open up a blank document. It tells us to go to cell A4 and begin keying the data shown in cells A4 through C10 on page 355, step 2. So type in the data that you see in the picture. Notice that the text in column A is left aligned and the numbers in column B and C are right aligned. Alright, so I'm going to type "and," then I'm going to press the tab key on my keyboard. I'm going to type the number using my keypad, 13579, and I'm going to press tab. Notice it's automatically right aligned in my cell. The name over here is left aligned. I'm going to type 7 and I'm going to press enter. It'll move me to cell A5. Barb, tab, 24680, tab 7. Then I'm going to press enter. Connie, tab 14703, tab 8. Press enter. Dora, tab 25814, tab 8. Press enter. Eve, tab 97532, press the tab key. 7, press the enter key. Flora, press the tab key. 86420, press the tab key. Type 7, press enter. Last one, we're in cell A10. I'm going to type Grace, press tab. 63074, press the tab key, type the number 8, and press enter. It tells us now to save the workbook as 72D data. So we're going to go File, Save As. I'm going to go to my Chapter 11 folder, make sure I'm in my keyboarding Chapter 11 folder. I'm going to type 72D data. Press save. Okay. It says do not close it, so we want to keep this up. Alright. Next we're going to view and print grid lines and column headings. So grid lines, cell borders, and headings, row and numbers, and column letters may or may not be viewed on the monitor or printed on a worksheet. The default settings are to display the headings on the monitor but do not print them. Therefore, if you want to print the grid lines or headings, you need to check the appropriate print checkbox, as shown in figure 11.4. If you do not want to view the grid lines or headings on the monitor, you need to deselect the appropriate view checkbox shown in figure 11.4. We're going to use the 72 data worksheet, and we're going to follow the path at the left to access the sheet options group. So we're going to go to Page Layout tab, Sheet Options right here. Okay. And it says to set the sheet options to view and print grid lines. Okay, but do not view or print the headings. Okay, so now my headings are gone. I don't see my rows, I don't see my column headings, and it wants us to save this document in our Chapter 11 folder as 72 data, save. All right, go ahead and turn your documents in your Chapter 11 folder. We should have 5 documents to turn into Schoology. Okay, and then close the program.